Hi, SL. This will be the answer to the answers to the questions you guys did in class on Friday and that you will do for the assessment. Let's start over here to the right where we see 4 diagrams. The answer to the questions that you guys are going to do are all going to be found within these 4 diagrams, and then obviously the analysis of them. So across the top, these two have to do with changes to demand. We have an increase to demand. We see demand is shifted to the right. And a decrease to demand. We see demand is shifted to the left on the right. Down here, we have increased supply. We see 2 supply curves, and the supply curve has moved to the right. Remember, that goes along with quantity. So quantity increases to the right. Therefore, supply curve moving to the right is an increase of supply. Likewise, this is a decrease of supply. So in each of the answers that you did, or in each of the problems that you did, you basically need to, first of all, identify, is it a determinant of supply that's changing, or is it a determinant of demand that is changing? If it's a determinant of supply, we're going to see a change to the supply curve, one of these two. So then we just have to identify which way it goes and what ends up happening as a result. So let's do these. We'll go through each one of them one by one. So number 1 says, what happens in the market for organically grown aubergine or eggplants if the cost of natural fertilizers increases? Keep in mind, it's important that these are organic eggplants. Otherwise, it wouldn't matter that they are natural fertilizers, and it matters that they're natural fertilizers because otherwise the organic ones wouldn't be using them. So in this case, the cost of natural fertilizers is seen as a cost of production for growing organic eggplant. Therefore, it's a determinant of supply. You need to identify which determinant of supply it is. So it's the cost of production. Cost of production has increased, therefore supply curve will shift to the left. So this is going to look like this graph on the bottom right. Now, keep in mind that determining the right diagram or drawing the right diagram isn't taking care of the explanation, okay? You have to say how the market, whenever we say market, we mean price and quantity, how the market will be affected if the one thing occurs. So to do that, let's go back to the diagram and see what happens if this is eggplants. Keep in mind that if the price was at P star 1 and Q star 1 originally, when the supply curve shifts to the left, the price isn't going to automatically adjust with it. Yeah, it's going to end up at P star 2, but not initially. At first, supply will shift to the left, which means that the amount supplied is dependent on the new supply curve. So that's this amount right here that I've identified as Q3. However, we haven't said that demand would change, so at P star 1, the demand, or the quantity demanded, would still be Q star 1, that is, this point on the demand curve. It doesn't matter that the old supply curve is there, we're just looking where P star 1 hits the demand curve in question, and there's only one. So now what we have is we have quantity demanded of Q star 1, and we have quantity supplied of Q3. Therefore, we have a situation where quantity demanded is less than quantity supplied, therefore we have excess demand. So part of the explanation, remember that's the key word here, is to explain. Part of the explanation is going to be to talk about what's going to happen to drive the price. Why will the price end up at P star 2? So it's not enough to simply say that it will be P star 2, we have to say why, okay? We're going to see the exact same situation later on, so that's all we're going to say about that. Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2, the market for air conditioners, unusually hot summer. This is a determinant of demand, and this is taste, specifically taste within a season when it's really hot. But basically, people want an air conditioner more because it's so hot, so demand will shift to the right. Again here, so this is an increase in demand, so this one here. Again, it's important to look at, okay, well, here is the new demand. Okay, we had a change to demand, so the old price is P star 1, and it's intersecting the new demand curve way over here at Q3. But supply hasn't adjusted yet, so supply will still be there. So we have now excess demand, and we need to explain how the excess demand will lead us to equilibrium. Okay, the next question is how restaurant dining will be affected if individual incomes decrease. So again, this is a determinant of demand. It's a change to income. Remember, our little delta sign there means change. Keep in mind it's a normal good, not an inferior good. So demand is going to shift to the left. And as always, we see the same thing, demand shifting to the left. So we need to look at the original price, which is P star 1, and go, okay, well, here's the demand at P star 1, but the supply is here on the old supply curve. Okay, there's only one supply curve. It doesn't matter that that also correlates to the old demand curve because the old demand curve is gone. So, again, we need to explain the process by which price will move towards P star 2. Okay, fourth, determinant of supply. This is cost of production decreasing. So it's the exact opposite of what we saw before. So the market for eggs will be affected if egg fillers can do it faster is basically what it's getting at. Okay, that's going to decrease production costs. Okay, number 5 is a bit tricky. So that's going to be, it decreases production costs, therefore supply will move to the right. So again, we need to be looking here and there and talk about why the excess supply in this case will cause the price to decrease. Okay, the next two, what's happening here is we're actually taking two things. So we have to be a little bit smart here. Okay, let's go back to the diagrams. I hadn't pointed out, so for each one of these, I'm telling you the result, right? Price is going to decrease and quantity demanded will increase. So we were here, and we're going to have price decrease and quantity increase. We're going down and to the right. So down on the y-axis and to the right on the x-axis. And we see that for all of these. So price up, quantity down, and then price up, quantity up, price down, quantity down. Keep in mind there that that should sound awfully familiar. That sounds like the law of supply. Well, it is. Remember, we're moving up the supply curve to a new equilibrium. Here we're moving down the supply curve to a new equilibrium. These sound like the law of demand because we're moving down the demand curve to a new equilibrium. And here we're moving up the demand curve to a new equilibrium. Okay, so anyway, the reason I go into that is because for 5 and 6, we actually have two things happening. First of all, we have a change to a determinant of demand. We say that people find out that crab meat will be healthier, so they want it more. So that's going to be increased demand. So we're going to have price up, quantity up. But the second part says that wages go up for Alaskan crab fishermen. Therefore, we're going to have decreased supply. So there we have price up and quantity down. So we can't say conclusively what's going to happen. We're looking at price up, quantity down, and price up, quantity up. So we can say conclusively that price will go up because both of these things are going to cause the price to go up. We can't say conclusively what's going to happen to quantity because we don't know if decrease in supply is going to have a bigger effect or if the increase in demand will have a bigger effect. That would be the answer to that one. Since we have the opposite, we're saying how the market for DVD rentals will be affected. There's an increase of the number of stores. There's going to be more competition, which means supply is going to shift to the right. Okay, and we're going to have the effect of people renting movies on demand. So people have, people are choosing to do that instead of renting them from a store. So price of other products is our determinant of demand there, and demand will shift to the left. Just like the previous one, we know that P is going to go down and Q is going to go up. And because of decreased demand, we know that P is going to go down again, but here Q is going to go down. So we can't say what will happen to quantity, but we do know that the price will decrease. Keep in mind of all of these, you need to be talking about signaling. you need to be talking about competition, and you need to be talking about incentives. So what is it? How are these three going to work together to produce a new price? And this is essentially what our price mechanism is. So when we talk about the price mechanism, we mean how is it that price is being established? The price that needs to be established here is the new price, the P star 2, there, there, and there. All right, good luck, and if you have any questions, shoot me an email.